Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's true. Oh, another thing to be excited about for the PMPL. All right, let's check out the observers cam once we get into the map. Here we go.
You're always into it every single time. But here's a feature plays before that. 4K, 8K, 8K, almost 4K, and almost 10K. Naoki, what did that guy had for dinner? I'm not gonna go for breakfast and lunch. This time it's dinner.
It's probably chicken because they had that the last round.
Oh, great comeback up here from Sir Claude here. Let's have a look at it.
Oh, different version of Jay. There you go. You like which one? The cyborg guy, the normal guy, the bald one, or do you like back to the past one? Very stylo, hipster guy,
The evolution of Jay with hair until he comes to Anget with no hair so far, but all of which you gotta have some sick shades. Thank you to our observers for playing along with us. We absolutely love you guys. XCYR, Zai, you're getting close to five more games until 100. We're watching Topcast as well as our observer Anget as well. Thank you so much. Let's analyze the flight path.
Straight cutting. This is the most balanced flight path and most balanced circle. Hopefully a circle after this.
I'm holding my breath.
It's literally separating up and down, north and south of the map here. I think it's a very equally distributed for the teams to wherever they drop, but it's a really beautiful circle.
Great circle for now. Again, for now, there is the possibility of separating mainland from the islands of military base.
No. It's going to be ended up just at the outskirts of Chinky.
Oh, so now she's Team Gideon.
You've learned well, young Padawan.
Hopefully, we have to wait. Because second circle is where you can actually see the circle patterns here. But back to the game, everybody dropped by everywhere they used to be. For example, VIP on the other hand. They are supposed to be dropping around school. Who is actually challenging the H2O again, which happens to be the same goes for the Scream ones.
You know what that means? If they find a pan, the pan kills might be coming in, because who doesn't like pan kills in the early stages of the game? But smokes actually have been popped there. I'm not sure if it was by EVOS or if it was from the side of H2O, but it looks like the utilities are going to be utilized here. Let's see how this pans out.
Yeah, wait, the pan, maybe Yuhai doesn't like it anymore, but there you go. I have to bring that one out.
You have to just say that. But anyways, moving over to Kaya, our new team member for this week for the team H2O. They definitely have their eyes onto EVOS VIP. EVOS not letting go of this compound. They can make a run for it to a certain extent, but then again, looks like Heiko, he does not have anything there. He's still hanging on to that location. Razor doesn't have a helmet, doesn't have a vest, only have, oh man, no utilities at all, and they're still locked into the same compound as H2O. H2O will loot everything that's there, and they can just make a rush for it at any time.
I'm surprised actually VIP didn't actually go for the school, which they entirely change entire drop point here. We're trying to challenge H2O, and H2O already equipped themselves at least level 2 of gears now, but no utilities, but decent enough to hold it on, because EVOS on the other hand is really taking it hard in terms of their gears.
Yeah, I mean, no body armor, no helmets, stuck with a secondary weapon, not even a primary. That's going to be a difficult bout to win, especially if it does come to a firefight. But H2O are being very careful here. They're not entirely sure if Overwatch is going to be the first knockdown. VIP's Haikyul is going to be the first to go down. However, the rest of the team is getting shot from the side. Can they go for this quick CQC there? Luckily, Kaya, even with the M16, is able to burst him down.
There you go, guys. Kaya making the difference to the team. Managed to take down 2 team members of EVOS VIP. The rest of them will need to make a run for it, but looks like they may come back based on the minimap that we can see. But look at this. Pangu will finish off Heiko, and there's nothing more for them to say. But again, Putra looks like he's on the another angle. Does he want to go for it? I don't think he should, though.
It's not going to be enough. I think he should build this one. Really, it's not smart if he actually trying to engage with it. He take out the exit route straight away with a UAZ actually prepared behind of him. The moment they trying to not drop in school for all the teams. They are actually engaging into their death trap there.
Yeah, and now let's look over at Team NoRecoil. Here are the previous winner chicken dinners of today. XPERT as well as Geek fam for the first match and the second match. Match 3 is to be determined right now. Let's look at the overall positioning of all these teams here. Looks like Team NoRecoil has taken control over Pochinki, Axis as well as H2O, Axis at Razok, and RSG actually towards the flank on the right side just north of Malta and Farm.
Yep, not to mention as well that last survivor, they have the entire military-based island to themselves. Bapak are no surprises. They got Malta power to themselves as well. But then it's gatekept by Bosskurr. At the same time, Bosskurr may have their eyes on the bridge also in case last survivor chooses to go across. But it may not happen so far because these teams we have seen over and over again that they like to get into the circle a little bit later. There's also a strategy to make sure that no one's gatekeeping at that point.
I'm really interested to see what's going to happen tomorrow because I do see Yoodo gang actually taking over Rose Esports area. If it happens tomorrow, the same goes for Last Survivor, who happens to drop by Novo, used to be liked by Bigatron. Hopefully they're going to actually fight for the compound, but we have to wait and see. Some of the team kind of change it when they fight against the different groups there. But back into the game, Geek fam got himself one chicken dinner again today in Miramar. Will they get again on Miramar today? Because they are really crazy in Miramar. Always got themselves chicken dinner there. But on the other hand, Team NoRecoil, even though there's no secret this time, they're getting themselves a Pochinki. It's actually a really strong compound to hold on to, quite in the center of the circle, but will be challenged by ESG anytime soon.
Yeah, this could be anybody's game right now, and the gatekeeping might start coming into play right about now. H2O is going to come up against FV. They should be seeing that rotation path down towards the south side, in between Steel Hearts, closer towards the eastern side of the map, just above Mansion, but I don't think they have line of sight onto FV just yet. Resurgence at the end of that road, so 4 teams might get caught up in a full-on firefight.
Yep, H2O letting FV go. Oh, that just rhymed. But anyway, so FV moving on to the side of Resurgence. They may bump into each other at any point of time now. Resurgence have their eyes on both FV as well as Steel Hearts. They know that Steel Hearts is coming in really soon. But looks like FV taking a little bit of detour there. May bump into EVOS instead. Looks like FV and a couple of other teams, they're actually going right in the middle of the circle. Again, this have been quite consistent with a number of teams in this tournament at this point.
And quite true, still 16 teams intact, 2 already been sacrificed back into the lobby. But back into the game, I do notice when it's A versus B, there's so many teams prefer the south side. It's totally reversed when it's B versus C. C is totally on the north all the way. Team Bosskurr, on the other hand, total damage is quite okay, not that high, but still decent enough to be in the middle bracket here. 15 total kills, but need to just blew that numbers up because they really need to have themselves a big place here, or they won't make it for the grand finals because their points are really at the bottom 24 in overall standings.
Yeah, they have an entire week this time to catch up, so every game is going to count to make up for the amount of lost points from the previously in week 1. This is kind of a make it or break it for them overall, but we have to see their long-term performance of week 2 before we decide.
Yeah, there's a lot still to consider as well. But then again, time is not on all the team side because week 2, then it goes to week 3, and then we'll have the overall standings. Then we'll decide who will go on to the grand final. So this is the week that they really need to do what they plan to do, whether it's to go aggressive, rank up those kill points, or go for placements, depending on what their strategy will work for their style of play. But of course, overall, we have to talk about this time and time again. Kill points have been the key to all these teams. And now Bravo, looks like his stats come out. Total damage 7.4k, 33 kills, 1 chicken dinner from Sunday, I believe. Yep. So
The day that you're not
the
here.
day that Gideon wasn't around. Unfortunately, all these great plays happened.
That's quite true. Back to the game.
Deep disappointment.
Oh, maybe you can catch up to that as well. But back to the game, we have Bapak actually rotating into the circle very soon as well. But Pochinki is really heavily populated as we speak. But speaking of catching up the points again, next week is all about widening the gap even more. So they have to close the gap as much as they can. This week, no mistake, no more playing, and just all out whatever they have. Go big or go home. Resurgence managed to get themselves on H2O, who apparently on their knees already. There's one more person left, which is Pango, who got hit just now quite a far.
Yeah, that's going to be a full squad wipe for the side of H2O, but Pango is actually, wait a minute, Pango actually survived. Looks like he wasn't down on the ground, and he was able to get his buggy and get on out of there.
Yep, no choice. Pangu, just look at him. No helmet, no vest. He needs to just survive this up to the end because all his teammates are just out and sent back to the lobby. Not much choice that he can make actually. So he will need to sit everything out. There's still 16 teams left playing here, so it's still going to be quite a while before he actually gets comfortable.
It feels like a deja vu looking at VIP as well as Pango just now. Kind of a similar situation, but returning back to XPERT and why they got themselves a first chicken dinner of the day, we are surprised because they are actually going all out, full gear, making sure they maxed out their kill points here as well. But second game, it wasn't turned well for them because apparently they're quite out in too soon. But Axis on the other hand, we're looking for this team performance.
Yeah, they've got some great weaponry so far. They've also got a lot of wet level 2s in terms of their body armor as well as helmets. They are taking a couple of shots at XPERT now. Let's see how this is going to end up because Mappy is kind of by himself and he's waiting for the rest of his team to actually catch up or at the very least make a decision whether or not they need to rotate out of there or take on this fight.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're being pinned down now. But looks like Axis decides to get away. If not, they may end up in a sandwich situation because of another team up on the horizon. Same goes for Manparang as well. Will leave this location. Axis will relocate themselves into this compound where there's hills for them to play. But definitely they will need to move because they are not too far away from the current circle.
The thing is, I noticed when it's B versus C, Yoodo is super assertive. When it comes to A versus C, on the other hand, they're really going all up. But look at that spray, man. Wanted just now. Axis MP managed to clip a couple of shots there. HP being clipped half, some of them being chipped, a little bit of chunk. But that still not enough to take one out. Now the first airdrop, I think they got an M249 on Dingo's side, and we know Dingoz is going at it this week. They are really revamped and not the same one as last week.
Surprising how just one birthday can invigorate a team so much. And now
one
they're
birthday?
Yeah, one birthday.
Reborn and rebirth. There you go.
Wow.
Well, you're not gonna say anything about that now?
He has no comeback to that.
I
He's
have
like
no comeback.
stone.
That's like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that is correct.
Thanks, Gideon. Thanks for having my bag there. Well, like I kind of predicted, it's outside of Oscar Pachinki, actually more into GANK area. Quite an open field actually. This is just except for the middle one, they have a couple of fields and terrains to play with.
And just look at Bapak. They are right smack in the middle. They know what they're doing. They know that this is the strategy that works best for them specifically. They are good at actually fending off other people and moving into those little circle areas. So they're in good position, I would say. This is their map.
Yeah, but check out Geek coming in from the western side. Looks like nobody is going to gatekeep them. They're going to have structures all towards themselves. They're going to have great landscapes to kind of push on forward. If the circle decides to be kind to them, I think they might be able to have prime position to win this game.
Oh, back to XPERT and Impunity, trying to making sure that they mark their territory right and showing them some respect at that. Impunity really giving up a lot of pressure. Wasting a lot of ammunition is also one more thing. Apparently they are trying to stay and gatekeep here as long as they want to. But I do hope they won't stay here way too much. Overstaying is not a pretty picture, especially when you rotate a little bit too late when it comes to the center of a circle because everybody else is already migrating in. Look at that, so many people. The migration happens really fast.
And now this is going to be last survivors passing by a lot of teams. ESG going to be first to deploy. He's going to use the cover and try to take out.
Yep, ESG now looks like going towards the high ground, but then again, no one is there at this moment until we may see Last Survivor will park themselves. Looks like not. Last Survivor will skip that mountain, but then again, on top there's Geek fam. They have eyes on Last Survivor. Last Survivor will just need to get out of it. Chong taking 50% of damage from He-Hawks. He-Hawks has his eyes on 2 team members of Last Survivor. Geek fam just hanging on to this mountain.
Yeah, now high ground is going to be in favor of Geek Fam. And this is what I was talking about because, like, this is a prime position. It's not any kind of position. It has high ground, plenty of landscape to hide behind, lots of cover to work around with. Just so great. And now we're looking at EVOS here, the last 2 members. Putra does go down. However, he does get a kill, does get a knockdown onto Ideal from Steel Hearts. He has to deal with the rest of the Steel Hearts, though. The rest of them, the Cavalry is here. He's pushing on forward by himself. Looks like this was a 2-on-2 buy as Lorenzo is nowhere to be found. Redo just has to put some pressure on until the rest of his teammates come in to help him out.
Returning of Nate's there, interesting enough, because Kuza is already alone and solo all this while. Putra is nowhere will be revived anytime soon, but he's trying his best to cover himself in the smoke, making sure he knows he can't do this alone. He needs his extra teammates and extra hands in there. So he's trying to get to Putra, but it's just really a tough spot to begin with. Still tossing a couple of nades here, but I think Steel Hearts just want to get a clean kill there.
Oh yeah, Kuza will need to make the great escape, but it's going to be really difficult. Putra is taken hostage by the side of Steel Hearts. Kuza is all alone. If he moves back behind, there's another team waiting for him. But check this out. Looks like Kuza managed to get the grenade onto Ida, and now Wedu is all alone. Kuza has his shots onto Wedu, but it does not connect. Wedu just have enough cover for him just to hang on. Putra is still the one right in front there as a hostage. Kuza looks like he'll be taken out by Wedu.
I can see that he is really desperating to save his friend there. He just really need to clutch that one out, but it's just whiffing a lot of bullets there, missed a lot of shots, didn't let it on the side of Steel Hearts. Oh, that's a lot of casualty on both sides of a team, and kind of have to solo all the way. Steel Hearts is not having this a great time either.
Let's look at Dingoz right now as they slowly take down here. They will reset, but now Bapak right in smack in the middle, going for the rush against Impunity. Once more, Impunity getting rushed by Bapak. They're all stuck in one little shed, and now Jenny is here. The entry fragger has come, and they take out Impunity.
Wow, that's a very fast and nice barrel control done by Bapak. We can hear them screaming of joy the moment the satisfaction hits them, because one team wiped with that one entry fragger and with one support at the back. That was a very strong call there done by Bapak.
Oh, by the same time, we do see here Aga looks like he's been knocked down. Team NoRecoil's position is compromised by Geek Fam. Geek Fam is closest to them. By the same time, XP as well on the other side. They could be in a sandwich situation, a gatekeeping for too long. You forgot your flanks on the left, on the right. Now have other people. Dingoz on the other side. They are close by together with Bapak as well as White Smack in the middle. So even if you retreat back into the center, you will bump into Bapak.
Oh, there's Palace right in the middle of open field. Feels so bad for him. He popped smoke there, but Stewart on the other hand managed to land a couple of shots on the small heart. One nade can actually rule them all, but Palace on the other hand trying to get back to the smoke. They're trying to deny the mobility out of that zone with that tire popping out, but Loyu on the other hand got actually knocked down by Mozart.
And now he's going to revive Loyu there. This is a really tough position because, again, Stewart doesn't have a lot of places he can peek from. Literally only has 2 angles there. And that can be covered quite easily. But let's look at the overview here as Axe is trying to deal with XP. Yoodo making their way up to high ground. Geek Fam on the other side taking some damage from Resurgence. They only have 1 casualty so far, so it's a 3-on-2 situation until the rest of Geek respond.
Oh, Iron Pro looks like with the rest of Resurgence right now, throwing out the grenades, and the grenades may connect there, but again, Geek Fam is on the other side. They need to be really careful if they want to move in. But at the same time, Dingoz as well. Oh, check this out. Looks like managed to get QB knocked down, and they may move it for the kill. Iron Pro drives into the middle of this smoke and comes out, and Iron Pro, we try to find someone else, but looks like it's not easy for him to find.
Oh no, Damroot kind of actually out in the open. He saw Iron Pro running in the open field. That Damroot covered by get the smoke.
okay.
Now Voki coming in as well. The rest of the team try to reform themselves in the middle of the smoke zone here. Naoki on the other hand trying to get a pixel shot on Iron Pro. They still have Y2K on the side. Damro is already down as well as QB on their knees. Bapak also appeared out of nowhere on the kill feed. Resurgence Voki is charging right in. Y2K will revive their teammate here. Voki on the other hand scoping down on Damro, is trying so hard, but just kill steal away by Dingoz here with his last nade happened to pass by and just toss that nade because why they can.
And Naoki is just stuck to deal with the Dingoz by themselves. It looks like Resurgence is making the call. It's like, hey, I think we might want to pull away from this, and the rest of the team pulls back. There is no more Overwatch from that angle. Iron Pro kind of left by himself, quickly takes the vehicle, and they will rotate and skedaddle out of there.
Oh yes, they definitely need to skedaddle out of there. And Naoki right now trying to get away, but all shots onto Naoki. He still managed to make it so far. The vehicle, the vehicle is still intact. Everyone's holding their breath here, but then Naoki may just go into Bapa's compound. Not looking good for them. Their vehicle is down now. Looks like spin down into that small little hut, and the grenade will go from 6.
No, of all the places he can hide to, why did he pick that small hut? There's nothing else to work with. And there you go, Bosskurr is already out on the 11th place. Bapak on the other hand trying to get on Dingoz. FV has to join in the fray. Charging right into Naoki. What is happening? Alpha trying to finish him off, trying to pull the clutch and trying to land the shots, but they're still playing the corners. And the nade! He missed it! He almost killed himself there. Close call, Alpha. That was really hard to watch.
That's what we call a high pressure situation. The fight, well, but that's not it. Yoodo gang now having to deal with Resurgence here. It's going to be a 3-on-2 bout. The first knockdown has already come. Volky is on his knees. However, last survivors in the back might take out Y2K, as Y2K is now dealing with Drax. Has a little bit of damage onto his level 2 helmet there, so just a single 2 taps from anything will take him out if it's a headshot. Oh, Drax forced to pull on backwards, and now his body armor has taken a hit. Y2K getting shot by Last again in the background. Oh my goodness, Last is butting into everybody's fight.
Oh, Resurgence just watching the action from afar. Nothing much they can do, but Drax now has the high ground. Iron Pro, but Drax have been knocked out by Iron Pro there, and Iron Pro immediately uses the bandage, but it's in an open area. 10 kills mark for Team NoRecoil.
Not recalling at all for their weapons. It seems like they landed their shots right on the top of everybody's head. Look at that. Yoodo still making it hard for a team there. They have to just revive back for Iron Pro. On the other hand, Team NoRecoil coming up behind of Resurgence as well as Yoodo again. Papa I just joined in the fray. We still have Last survivor in the middle, smack in the middle of a circle. Top 7 teams left, but Dingoz is really on the outskirts. They have a long way to go. Same goes as Alpha.
Yeah, look at Last Survivors right now. They are in prime position now that they've taken over Geek Fam's area, and the same idea came out from Bapak as well. These two teams will have to contest for this high ground, but on the other side, Yoodo as well as RSG already taking some significant casualties, but that's not their biggest problem, with Team NoRecoil already rotating towards the northern side of the map to take both of these teams out.
And now Team NoRecoil looks like they're getting closer and closer into the compound. They still have 4 team members inside. There are 7 teams left, 20 alive there. And Nug looks like he's in trouble. He needs to get away with this with Massa, but looks like Nug with that last one. But then will be taken now by Bapak. Oh man, with a long range shot. Looks like Bapak is holding on to this compound.
Just has to still kill there with last minute. The Dingoz actually out from the game as well. Yoodo, on the other hand, sharing the same fate. They were down to top 5 teams. Resurgence, Last Survivor. There's also FV Alpha just playing at the sides there. Bapak, Last Survivor, Resurgence, Team NoRecoil kind of quite separated there. Bapak, on the other hand, did they have any smell on Alpha?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure they're very aware of where he is right now, but there's too many angles that they have to worry about to actually deal with that current situation. It's just 1 point, so it's no big deal. However, if Alpha is able to put enough damage into Team NoRecoil, that could significantly tip the scales of who's going to win this chicken dinner.
And among the teams now, the top 5 teams, only Resurgence is the only team that have not gotten themselves a chicken dinner in this tournament so far. Sinbi smells out Resurgence on the other side, tosses out the grenade, and now Sinbi just keeping an eye onto Iron Pro. Iron Pro does have the high ground though, but Iron Pro and team, they are still within the circle, so they are okay. Alpha needs to find a way to move into the circle, but then again, Bapak is just right in front of him.
Last Survivor, on the other hand, really smacked themselves, making sure they are solid right on top of everybody else. Team NoRecoil, on the other hand, really... this is just a teaser for everybody again. But in the end, Alpha didn't make it, and that's a moment of silence for Alpha for a bit. There you go. We're done.
There's the moment of silence. And now, you know, Iron Pro has been holding out very, very long. And, you know, we know from Resurgence they're very good, especially in these dire situations, in 2v4 situations, especially. They know how to kind of play the situation right. Yoodo Gang, unfortunately, has already been bowed out, so they don't have to worry about their position there. However, Bapak in prime line of sight of TNR. They're taking the flak from both last survivors as well as Team NoRecoil. This is so much oppression coming up from these teams.
Where did that nade come from? Seems like they are not done with Team NoRecoil Resurgence marching up from their backs, breathing right in their neck. And they seem the last survivor coming in as well. Charging up is going in. Sinbi, Team NoRecoil, they are challenging Resurgence straight in their face.
Oh yeah, they are definitely challenging that. And oh, the shots go up, but Iron Pro managed to take on Senbei. But at the same time, looks like Iron Pro will But look at this, they will send RSG back to the lobby at 4th place.
That Shredder Law used a lot of his equipment, no more helmet for him. They need to reset themselves for Team NoRecoil if they want this 3rd chicken dinner for themselves now, including 2 from yesterday. Bapak are on the other side. They had so many chicken dinners. They need to just get 1 more. We have last survivor who keep on making sure they're top 3, but Team NoRecoil getting 1 for Bapak Tricks, which is actually their in-call leader.
Yeah, and they are hungry here. The last 3 teams standing, with the majority of them being from Team NoRecoil as well as Bapak. But Bapak has been taking significant damage from last survivors across the map. So this might be TNR's game here if they can get a squad wipe onto Bapak. He takes a little bit of damage from the blue. He's getting a little trapped. He might have to hop over this wall real soon, but that US taking a little bit of time, forcing him to go around. Looks like TNR will try to hold this hill.
Oh, last survivor, they are just sitting everything out. They have the high ground, they have the vision, they are in the circle. They can just hang out at the side and say, okay, TNR, Bapak, you guys can go at it at each other. We're fine, we'll come in later to mop you guys out. And Jenny with the low ground, not looking good, not a good area to be in for long. But of course, the circle will close in. We shall see the next circle. Who will favor? Matoy, give us your blessing.
This is really hard if you're favoring last survivor, but Sinbi caught their sense there because it seemed like he's trying to engage and passing back information for the rest of the team. They're trying to give as much pressure as they can, still hold on to the edges of the circle, but they caught Tricks in it here. Loy already sprays, that's a beautiful one, but still they managed to chunk out the HP out of him. But Bapak is really the tough one. He got 1 for Jenny and the team there. 6 is right in front of him, but Tricks still being oppressed so much by so many raining of bullets. But last survivor is already trying to make their move.
Yep, and again, Team NoRecoil don't have a choice but to deal with Bapak only because they have their flanks. But last survivors looking to try and win this are slowly taking full control over this hill, forcing TNR back.
Oh, last survivor just finished off Bapak on the side. They are killed in whatever effort put it in by Team NoRecoil. Now they're trying to reposition themselves around the corner of the stone here. Lost Ichong, we know with the micro he can do so many times. And it seems like he's trying to get from the flanks here, just on the left side of the hill, playing with the terrain, trying to go for it. They're spreading it out. Lost Ichong trying to pull it, getting 2 downs. There's 1 more to go. They're trying to finish off Team NoRecoil. There's only Senbi left. Senbi hop into the UNC, and he's trying to hop out now. What is he trying to do?
There we go!
Got himself another chicken dinner. Being ambushed, that was a really tough spot for Team NoRecoil and Bapak.
Really well played to last survivors. Calculated moves. The circle may not have been in their favor, but they knew how to take control over this prime position and take advantage of the fact that Bapak was in the flank of Team NoRecoil. So really, congratulations to them. A very strong game from all of the teams involved.
They are living up to their team names, really. They were
Last
just
Survivor.
at that side. Yeah, exactly. Last Survivor.
You saw they didn't make a move. That's really sneaky.
Not at all. They waited out until the last two teams just in front of the just go at each other, and no one really thought like, hey, there's a third team. Should we at least look around so that we know where they are? If not, they may come and flank us. No, everyone totally forgotten about Last Survivor.
Simbi saw them coming, but the moment he passed information, Bapak had just have to make the move. And they just charged right in. At the same time, lots of people like, this is the golden moment we're waiting for. Everybody's like too occupied and busy. This is where we go in.
Exactly. And you know, all teams are taking advantage of whatever they can, but we need to talk about prime positioning because all these teams have identified, okay, this hill, prime position. You have this hill, you win the game. We know what to do. And everyone